Okay, get home bag take 27. Hi everyone, my name is Roger, and I'd like to thank you for taking time out to take a look at my get home bag video. This is also my first YouTube video, non-scripted. I do have some cheat sheets, so if you see me look to my left a couple times, I'm just looking to verify manufacturers' names or maybe a model number of something. I live in Colorado, east of the Denver metro area, so it's what we call exurbia, I believe. We're not rural by any means. And I am in the construction trades. I work out of two different trucks, a pickup truck and a van. And my work can take me anywhere from 10 miles from home to 60 miles from home. So I've become somewhat obsessed with get home bags. Not bug out bags, not inch bags, and certainly not a bag that I would take camping, hiking, backpacking, or bushcrafting. So I watched every video I could find on YouTube to do with get home bags, and I came up with this. Now, one of my issues is, and everybody, I've seen everything from the small sling packs to 80-liter backpacks, which I think is a little big. My worst case on a 60 mile, being 60 miles away from home, is probably a 3-day trip and 2 nights overnight somewhere. The plan would be to walk along major highways. If I had to walk home 60 miles or 40 miles, but I'm going to avoid groups of people that are going to be confused about what's going on. Nobody's going to know what's going on at first. So I don't think you're going to make that magical 20-25 miles a day, especially if this event that causes all this happens at 12 noon or 2 in the afternoon. It could be 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm on my way home from 50 miles away, and all of a sudden I've got a Colorado whiteout blizzard along Interstate 25, or I'm farther to the east on Interstate 70, and they literally close gates here across the highway, the state police. So they will literally shut down sections of a highway if a snowstorm or a blizzard is that bad. In that case, I'm stuck in my truck. I'm not going to get out and try to walk in a blizzard. So, with all that having been said, I decided that my pack was going to be a 511 Rush 72. I looked at packs from, oh goodness, everybody that had anything on YouTube. Maxpedition and LA Police gear and just so many. And I decided that I didn't want a 30 liter. I already have one of those. A 40 is workable. I didn't want a 70 liter. This bag comes in 55 liter. If you look at the construction and you look at the way things are double stitched, just everything about the bag worked for me, and I felt like I was getting the best value for my dollars. I'm not in a position where I can just go out and buy a new backpack, especially the ones that are $200, $300, $400 for a backpack for an event that may or may not ever happen. So I'm happy with this guy. So now with that all said, along with this backpack, I also carry a small ready or quick grab bag. At the end of the video, we'll talk about this. So to begin with, start with the corner here. I have my obligatory roll of 1-inch wide Gorilla Tape. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm sure that there's things that can come up where I can use the tape. I'm not making fun of people that have the tape. I've had this roll of tape for probably 5 years, and I've always had it in what was going to be my bug out bag. So, but I do have it. I also carry a small sewing kit. I just think it's a good idea. You could have something rip, you could have something tear, and we always seem to forget. You may run into somebody that needs help with something. So I can't turn them down. You've got to do the right thing. So small sewing kit. I also carry a small signal mirror, not only for signaling, but if I think I cut my face or I've got whatever, I've got a small mirror to use. It could just come in handy. I have a cloth face mask. Instead of the disposable white N95 mask, this does the same trick. It's fabric, and if you can see the lighter color in the plastic bag on the back, these are the actual filter pads that you insert into the mask. Once they become dirty or used, you can throw them away and just, I don't have to replace a mask, I can just replace the filter. I carry a couple of the hand warmers, hot hands, and the toe warmers. If I'm in a cold spot here in Colorado and your feet are just getting, nothing can be more miserable than cold feet. So and cold hands. Along the electronics ends of things, I carry a Scorpion 2. This is a AM/FM weather band radio. It can be solar charged itself, or you can do the crank on the back. It's totally rubber cased, so I don't think you're going to hurt it dropping it or if it gets wet. It does have an LED flashlight in it. I can use this to charge other things like my phone, or I've got two flashlights we're going to take a look at. It's a good product. I carry a tactical A1 LED flashlight. I actually saw this advertised on a YouTube video. I think the channel name is Viking Preparedness. He was showing this, and I ordered it online. I bought it. What's neat about this is it's a rechargeable battery, so I can recharge this off of my radio if need be. Then this company WowTac came out with something very similar. This is actually a LED headlamp, and because it looks like this, if I get in a spot and they don't want to use it as a headlamp, I can also take it out of this and hold it vertically like you would, the old-fashioned military type flashlights. Now, those can be charged by this. This is a 16,000 amp hour battery, basically. It can be charged solar. I can charge it. I can recharge this via a plug-in out, regular standard outlet, or I can charge it in my truck as I'm driving. If you can see the green light that's on, it means it's charging under the room light. Now this will charge two devices at once. So I could do a flashlight, I could do my cell phone, assuming the electronics are going to be working if we haven't had an EMP or a CME, but I don't think that's going to be the cause of my walking. So I do carry that. I carry these. These little guys are made by a company called Night Eyes, and they're called Cam Jams. When I watch the videos and I see the different people putting up a tarp between two trees, and they stretch that line between them, they're tying knots, and they're using sticks for toggles, and they're using a trucker's hitch or some kind of a knot. I can't remember how to do these knots. It's just something that I don't use every day and I don't remember. Cam jams are the way to go. Wrap your line around the tree, stick it through the cam jam, pull, and you're done. You just don't have to remember knots. One of these days I'll remember them. These are cables that go with the charger, and these are for cables would work on those flashlights, and they would work on my cell phone. I have my Sawyer Mini water filter set. There's not much I can say about this. They're popular. Everybody's heard of them. They're not overly expensive, and they take up very little room. A pair of good leather work gloves. These are leather and spandex cushioned on the back. They're made by a tool manufacturer that I use in my business a lot, so I know how well they hold up. Good pair of gloves. Here I have a balaclava that I picked up on Amazon. They were actually 2 in a package. They're like spandex. They come in handy if I've got wind, and also it was cold. It's a good thing to have put on your face. So we keep one of those in the bag. Cordage. This is a 100 feet of paracord on a spooler that has a built-in line cutter, and it also has the spot where you can put the mini Bic lighter so you can singe the end of your cord. The line cutter's down here. That's a handy way to keep your cord. I got tired of trying to untangle, skeins of cord. This is just handy. I think it's very inexpensive. I also, instead of, I have bank line, but I don't carry it in this bag. The rolls are too big. This is 3/32 tactical cord. This is really, really, really really strong. It's made by Atwood. Just good to have if you need, like if you want to do a Prusik knot along the line that you string for your tarp. You want your Prusik knot to be smaller than your line between the 2 trees. This stuff is great for that. One of these days I'll get around to making the tarp line and putting the Prusik knots on it, but haven't done that yet. Then we have the I have this here. This is you've probably seen these emergency blankets. This is one by a company by U Tool, the letter U and Tool. The standard emergency blankets are 3-layer. This is a 5-layer blanket. This is really very heavy duty. I could use this as a ground cloth. I could use it as a tarp, as a shelter. If I was traveling with somebody and they were incapacitated, they can't walk, I could use this similar to the way we use a deer drag. And it is heavy enough to take that kind of use. It's not going to fall apart on you. A good product. It's only $10 more than the other emergency blankets that you see out there on the market. Then I have a UST. This is a tarp, but it's also a tube tent. TP, you got the 2 sides, you've got the bottom. So it's a tube tent. If the weather's bad enough or it's cold enough, you don't want to have to just sleep under a tarp. You set this up as your tube tent, and it's, I believe it's a 12-foot by 8-foot tarp. If you use it that way, there's just so many different ways you can set this up, and so many different ways you can use it. Very not expensive either, very reasonable. Then I have my Sea to Summit poncho, and I had bought this actually before I realized that you can use ponchos as a pretty decent tarp. Tarp wasn't my purpose. It's a good poncho. It's nylon. It's not rubbery. It's not plasticky. Not too expensive either. I'm not all about trying to save money, because I do believe that you get what you pay for. I've seen friends of mine that have bought things for camping trips and hiking and things like that, and they're sorry they just, not that the things fell apart, but they didn't perform the way they thought they were going to perform. They're sorry they'd spent the money. Bandana. I carry one bandana right in the quick access pocket on my pack. Okay, then I also have a Frog Togs bag. It's kind of handy. What I keep in here is a long sleeve t-shirt, an extra pair of wool socks, extra underwear, a spare handkerchief, and there's another bandana in here because from what I see on every video I've watched on YouTube, the bandanas are great for everything from washing up to filtering water. For sleeping, I have my Sol Escape Bivy. This is a sleeping bag, this small. It actually is very warm. I'm not saying you're going to take all your clothes off and get in it, but it is very warm. I think it has a 94% reflective rating for body heat. I saw this on a YouTube video where the gentleman said that he had to use this for 6 nights in a situation where it was like something of a camping trip and rough country, and the weather turned bad and they were kind of stuck, and it was supposedly 6 nights he used this with no problem. Again, very small, extremely light. My Wonder Bar. Everybody says bring a pry bar, so I've had this Stanley Wonder Bar around for quite a while. It fits in the pack well, it's not too heavy, and it's good if I've got to pry something. Pack knife. This is a Smith & Wesson knife that I got on sale at Cabela's. It's very, very thick on the back. It's got a lot of heft to it. It is full tang, and it does come with this sheath. And I think that if I got into a situation where I needed to baton some wood, this is probably what I would use. This is not something that would go on my belt or on my body. This would go in the pack itself. Then I have this is a light tactical belt. The way this pack sits on my body, the actual waist belt is above my pants belt line, which is good. I can put this around my waist, and then I have a sidearm that I would carry, and 2 pistol magazines would go on this belt. So they're not in the pack. I can put them in the pack if I need to, but I don't see the need to have them in the pack and then find out that I need them and I got to get the pack off to get the pistol out of the pack. It's easier just to put it on here. Also, if somebody sees it, they could be foolish enough to try to take it, or they could just take the hint and stay away, leave me be, I'm just trying to get home. In the back, very back, against my back, there's a section in this pack where you can nicely put in these are 2 45-gallon contractor grade trash bags. They open, I tried cutting one open with a knife, you know, opening it up at the seams if I needed them for something, or if I run into somebody and we've got a weather condition, they need a raincoat for, you know, I've got something that somebody else can use. I have my Garmin 62S. I love this. I've had it for years. I have the X-Hunt application on here that shows public properties, private properties, public lands, the borders. So if you know if you're on a state game land, or you're on a national forest, or you're on somebody's private property, assuming that we didn't have a CME or an EMP and the electronics are all still working, I would have this with me definitely. I carry a small Ziploc bag. I've got AAA, AA, and the 123 batteries in here, just in case. Pretty much what I've got, everything I've got here is rechargeable. I do use the lithium batteries in the Garmin, and I have those in there, but batteries are a good thing to have. Didn't know if I might need a saw to cut some wood if I was not sleeping in the truck. If I'm not staying in the truck and I'm trying to get a fire, maybe for some warmth, I'm not going to build a fire to boil a cup of water. So this is my Silky Gomboy 270. This saw, it's really nice. I saw a Canadian prepper basically you know, show one of these, do a review in a video. And this was just like, I watched that video, ordered myself one. I've had it for 2 years now, I think, or maybe 1.5 years, and this is just a great saw. Leatherman. You never know what you're going to run into. This is my Leatherman Wave. I've got a Wave and I've got a Surge. The Wave is the one that I put in this pack. Good to have with you. This my regular use knife. This is actually a Gerber. This is actually a Gerber Myth, and when you buy it, it's not really expensive. It is a really nice knife. It's full tank, so we're not just dealing with a chunk of plastic down here. It's very sharp, And it comes with this sheath, and in the bottom of the sheath is also a knife sharpener, which I can use for other knives other than this. It's got the really nice rubber retainer, so we don't worry about it falling out. My folding knife that I would bring with me, my SOG Trident, it's a Tonto blade. It is very, very, very sharp. I took quite a bit of meat off my thumb a few years ago with this, and I never felt the knife go through. It's like surgically sharp, and it holds an edge, and it is a nice knife. It'll cut you. Okay, for water, there's my water bottle. I have a 40-ounce Clean Canteen single wall stainless bottle, so I can boil water in this if I need to. I wouldn't want to put it in the fire, only because I'm like an equipment freak and I don't want to mess it all up in the fire. So I did get these spreaders that latch into the bottle, and I can hang it over a fire and do my boiling. I also have a 27-ounce stainless steel cup that nests nice with that 40-ounce Clean Canteen bottle. I've got two 40-ounce Clean Canteen bottles, and I've got a 27-ounce. I love those things. I take them all over. Then I have a smaller nesting cup. This is actually a GSI brand, but at Walmart, theirs looks just like this, and it nests just as well. This is the Stanley little camp cup deal. You can boil in this, cook in it, eat out of it, I guess. It does come with the two plastic cups, and I keep my MSR stove in there, which would be for your typical, I need to boil water for my oatmeal kind of thing. And I have two small cans of fuel for the MSR stove. I don't think I'm going to need more than that on my trip home. I carry, and along with water, I normally work out of a van or a pickup truck, and I normally have at least 4 bottles of bottled water in those trucks with me, plus what I have in my lunchbox. So I can fill this up easily, and then if I've got 1 or 2 bottles left over, I would just throw those in the pack. So I don't have a shortage of water. I do have my water filter here. If I had to filter some water, I carry 4 of the light sticks, and then another YouTube video I watched. The gentleman had this. This is actually a light stick holder. I found it on Amazon. You put your light stick in, your light comes through here, and you can actually rotate this and cut your light, in half, cut it down to a quarter, use it as a reading light. We don't want to spotlight the whole forest, or just open it up and you got full brightness, and it's got the clip to clip right onto, say, your backpack as you're walking or sitting. So that would come in handy. A Write in the Rain pad, a Write in the Rain pen, and a Sharpie. The Shemagh. Can't go anywhere without a Shemagh. This, my first aid kit. I'm not going to open this up and go through this whole thing. Guys, if I get enough subscribers or I get a couple of likes, I would love to do a follow-up video on my first aid kit, because I'm really very proud of it. This is not just a bump and scratch kit, I think some people call them. I've got some serious stuff in here. Right down to the tourniquets. I've got the cat tourniquet, the rat tourniquet. If we've got it, you run across somebody and they've got a wound, and you're not going to suture it, but at least you got the steri strips, or I can give you an Advil if you got a headache. So I'd like to do a future video on my first aid kit. IFAC. This is what I call my fire and water kit. When I open this up, I've got everything in here from magnesium flakes as tinder. I've got the small UST folding stove with the fuel pellets. I've got water for purification pills. I've got ferro rod. I've got lighters. I carry my Silcock key for a hose bib if I find one, and it's not just a standard. I also have my, and I learned a lot about these actually, my magnesium. Everybody's got these. They're cute. It's magnesium, and you've got the part of the ferro rod. What I found out was there are some that are not made in this country, and you can try to use that ferro rod until hell freezes over, and you are not going to get a spark. This particular one is made by a company called Doane. If I can find the name here, Doane Machine and Equipment Company, and it looks like they're in Ohio. Anyway, I found them, and I bought these for myself, my grandkids, because I'm trying to get them into some bushcrafting, camping type stuff. Be careful the ones you buy, because you'll get one, and in the event that you really need it to work, it may or may not work. I've got my little the obligatory bag of dryer lint in there. So basically this is what I call my fire and water kit. And if I was going to do a follow-up video, again, I would open this up and show you everything that I've got in this kit. These bags are from a company called Helicon Tex. These are sweet bags. They will go on to anything you've got, onto a belt or with molly straps. They've got more molly straps on the back. You can say, hey, you know, I want to use this for my knife. Your knife will slide down the back of this. If it's a really long something or other, you want to stick through there. I haven't tried it. With an axe, but this opens up, and this becomes a totally open compartment all the way down. So there's also inside there are small pockets in here. This is my hygiene bag. I've got some tissue, some toilet paper. I've got I do use the camp soap. I've got the personal wipes in here. I've got regular tissue in here, and Canadian Prepper did a review on these toilet paper pills, I guess is what we would call them. I got some after I saw his review and bought them. I have these little kits set up for my grandkids for when we go camping and hiking. They have those in there. This is not totally complete, this kit here. When it is complete, like I said, I'd love to do another short video on these. The nice thing also about these is I can put them, I don't need to put them in the pack. I can put them on the outside of the pack. It's just good. This one here is kind of, well, I guess I'm going to call it my eating kit. It's not my actual food, but I have a scrubber. I've got the eating utensils in here. I have some coffee tubes in here, some tea bags, sugar, salt, pepper, you know, condiments, Splenda. This will get big and get small. As far as my food that I would have in the pack, what I'm like I said before, I would probably plan on like 2 MRE meals, and then a couple of the Mountain House meals, and my little bag of oatmeal. You can have a couple snack bars, protein bars, granola, that kind of stuff. That's fine. Then, all of that aside, I have this small bag that I would also put on this small belt. This is my quick grab stuff. This is my my favorite ferro rod. I probably say the name wrong every time I say it. Uberleben. This is it's a really nice, high quality ferro rod. I do have my my Sharpen Spark. It's a knife sharpener. Take the end off here, and I've got a small ferro rod, and you've got your striker for the ferro rod right there. It's a handy little tool. I use it all the time to put an edge on pocket knives, folding knives. I have this little everybody's got these different colors and everything else. I've got a small light that I could use for looking in my pack for things if I don't want to light up the whole area where I'm at. I've got a thermometer on there. I do have a compass on the back. It's got a whistle. And then if you open this up, I do have it does have a small mirror, and it also has a magnifier. So I guess if you were looking at some kind of map, you might want that. I wouldn't have any maps with me per se. There's a lighter in there. I keep my my favorite little through night. This is a TH10. This is such a nice light. We go from almost nothing light level to super bright. I mean, this is a I think I've had this for 4 years now, and this is just a great headlamp. And I have my small pair of folding camp scissors. The only thing I need in here is a small pair of fingernail clippers because I tend to get hangnails. And then I picked this up. This is a bottle opener, but in the end here, here's a Phillips tip, and you pull it out and switch it around like you do with drills. I mean, this is a straight screwdriver blade. I suppose you could use the small quarter, 5/16 and 3/8 driver bits with these hex driver bits if you had it, but it was, again, it's something I saw on a YouTube video. So and you can tell I tend to go for gadgets, so things that I see on YouTube videos tend to end up in my collection of things here. So all of that having been said, that's the end of what I've got to show you in my bag. I see these bags and people seem to think that they want a 20-pound bag, a 25-pound bag. This is coming in at 35 pounds. By the time it'll probably be 37 pounds by the time I get my food in here. And you put some water in this container. I'm sure we're going to be 37 pounds. If you guys or gals watching this see things that are just off the wall, you don't need this, get rid of it, please tell me. Like I said, this is my first video. This is my first get home bag. I did put this on and I did walk with it. I can't see me trying to do 10, 15, 20 miles a day with a 37-pound pack on my back. I don't think it's going to end well for one of us. Either this is going to go in a ditch or I'm going to have a heart attack. I would like to get the weight down. If 37 pounds is within the norm for one of these things, please tell me that too, because then I won't feel bad and I'll have to get in better shape to be able to carry the thing. I don't know what I could take out of this bag that would take out 12 pounds. I've weighed all of these different components and products, and I just don't have anything that will come up to 12 pounds, let alone 17 pounds that I can take out of this bag. So, you know, please leave me your comments and leave me your suggestions. I don't want to have to try to do 60 miles and be totally miserable and pass out on the side of a road. So, with all of that having been said, again, thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. It is my first. I will get the other ones going better. I know I do too much with my hands, and I say too many times. We'll work through that and get around it on my end. But again, just thank you so much. And if you want to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And if I can get the like, I'd really appreciate that also. And we'll do I'll do more and hopefully better quality videos. I'll keep them short, and I will tell you this: I will never do a knife review. That is my biggest turnoff. I see so many different YouTube channels, and I look at the subject of their of the videos, and it's knife review. I'm not doing knife reviews. If you want to find a review on a specific knife, I'm sure there's 50 out there already on one knife. So I won't be doing those. But again, thank you very much for taking the time to watch it, and I hope you come back. Thanks.